So what are my most anticipated running shoes for release in 2023? Today I'm going to be Ed Mystic Meg Bud. Going to get that crystal ball out today and look into the future. Thanks for joining me on the channel, people. It is always appreciated. I hope you're having a fun time. It's getting very seasonal. I've been listening to Cliff Richard today. Doesn't get any more seasonal than that. If you're enjoying the content on the channel, do help us out by hitting that subscribe button and clicking the bell below for the notifications. It really helps us out too in terms of that YouTube algorithm if you give this video a thumbs up like, but also share it with your running buddies and animals, anyone really, perhaps passers-by in the street, just people you've never met before. Today I'm getting the crystal ball out and looking into the future. What are my most anticipated running shoe releases for 2023? Which of those shoes that will be dropping over the next 12 months could be real gems? I've earmarked 4 models that I'm going to be going into in depth today for you. Let's be having ya. First of the 2023 pleasers today is from Skechers. Now I've only tried out a couple of Skechers related shoes and I was sort of drawn to this one, I suppose. The Speed Beast from Skechers. I mean, that's just solid gold stuff for this channel. Everybody loves my festive feline friend, the Beast. I believe Beast is about 13 years old now. She's looking pretty good though. She keeps in check. I reckon she's out doing at least 100 meters a day. Over the last year or so, I tried out some lower stack shoes from Skechers, but none of them really hit the spot for me. They didn't get that many miles ploughed into them at all, really. The Speed Beast though may break the mold, and in the right way. Apparently we've got a 40mm heel stack here and 36mm in the forefoot. It looks as if this one's a little way down the line, a little closer to us actually being able to pick it up in retail. Something of a slightly lower drop than a lot of us are accustomed to these days, only 4mm. I do think this one's got a little extra over some of the past Skechers models that I've tried out. The new Hyperburst Pro foam is still a TPU material, which appears to be blown up with nitrogen to give it that airy feel. I think we've got that winged plate as well that we saw in one of the other models I tested out. I think that was the Go Run Speed Elite Hyper. Very strange name Skechers give these shoes. Apart from Speed Beast, that's fantastic. I found the Speed Elite Hyper to be quite a firm shoe, really, very responsive. Certainly not one I'd want to wear for anything past about 10k though. I'm viewing this one as a potential long run to steady speed option. Perhaps thinking Reebok Energy X, only a little bit lighter and airier. There certainly seems to be less upper materials there, and the nitrogen infused midsole material should make the shoe overall that little bit less dense. There haven't been all that many easily available Skechers models over the last couple of years. They're just a little bit harder to find here in the UK. Only a handful to pick from, and I'm not all that willing to pay over the odds to import them in from somewhere else. We do have Goodyear rubber on the outsole here, which should provide some durability and longevity to the shoe's lifespan. A striking design though. In theory, it should be an all-black shoe there, just with the green eyes, if it was going to be a true speed beast. On to the second shoe. It's the Reebok FLOATZIG 1. Now I do own a pair of the ZIG Kinetica. Picked those up really more as a lifestyle model. I was very keen to test out the midsole technology. It's certainly very cushioned, but I did find it to be quite a weighty shoe due to that frame that's around the midsole. I was really surprised to see that ZIG technology crop up once again in a new Reebok shoe. The difference with the shoe here is the ZIG frame that makes up most of the midsole. It acts as a protector or an outer shell over a much softer and bouncy formula. Perhaps a little bit like that recently released Nike Scorpion model. Doesn't seem to have sold all that well, to be honest. I think it's one of those hit or miss Nike shoes, and maybe a bit of a miss. This looks like a more lightweight and fancy free option. The materials here and the design very much remind me of the recently released Reebok Symmetros 2 with the heel flare design and profile. I think the ZIG technology was first unveiled about 10 years ago, so it's nothing new really. I think a lot of the running community just saw it like as a lifestyle model. This time round though, the Reebok designers and engineers have found it actually produces a considerable boost over things like the Float Ride foam in terms of the actual effectiveness for runners. It's certainly full of character and represents something that's a little break from the norm, I suppose. Bit of innovation there. It's not just one of those cookie cutter carbon plate shoes that we see all the time now. We've seen that all before, haven't we? 2 slabs of foam with a carbon plate in between. shove some rubber on the bottom, some sort of flimsy upper that tears after about 2 miles. As such, new designs and new ideas really interest me. This could be one that provides some fun and excitement to the running shoe rotation. Next up is the Nike ZOOMX Vaporfly NEXY 3. Now, I love the NEXY. I've run some of my fastest races and time trials in that shoe, and I've just had an awful lot of fun and enjoyment using it. This one looks set to mimic all that I love about my custom Invincible Run Flyknit, which I specially designed using a saw. Nike have pretty much mimicked my design here, I think you'll find. I mean, it's a little bit too close for comfort, isn't it? Checking out the design here of the special Kipchoge colorway, we got Nike storytelling on maximum across the shoe. We see the checkered flag-like images on the midsole sidewall and a red Kenyan hit across the lateral and medial sides. Awesome perforated laces, if you like that sort of thing, and a Swiss cheese-like upper. Certainly looks Endorphin Pro 3-like in terms of the vibes in the upper here. And in fairness, the less weight from the foam and minimised upper could make for a slightly less weighty shoe. Could put the king back atop the throne, perhaps. Not sure I'm a fan of this exact colourway with the numbering etc. on the sidewall of the midsole. 12:52.79 of course being his winning time for the 5k back in Paris in 2003. Don't really see how it fits this new model of the Vaporfly though. There's no real attachment to that exact race. Yes, it's 20 years on, but why didn't they do a retro perhaps of his running spikes that he wore? Looks like there's some hollowed out midsole foam to expose the plate Nike Air window style. Very excited to test these out against some of the competitors' models from this year. Perhaps Nike can put some distance back between themselves and the chasing pack once again. Last but by no means least, a couple of very interesting images here of the ADIDAS PRIMEX STRUNG 2. There's only a few images of this one. It's a bit of a rare Pokemon, but certainly a bit of a beauty, perhaps. If it's a successor to the PRIMEX Strung, then I'm all in. We have a similar strung upper here, though it appears to be a sewn-in tongue now, similar to the Nike Flyknit models that I really enjoyed a few years back. The lacing's changed to 3 lace loops on both the medial and lateral side of the shoe, giving way to 2 reinforced eyelets further up the shoe. I did quite like the fact that the PRIMEX Strung had a somewhat more traditional tongue, I suppose. It wasn't gusseted into the sides of the shoe. The tongue was loose, it was repositionable. Do we really need a change there? Is it just change for change's sake? The upper lockdown in the PRIMEX Strung at the moment is fantastic, so do we really need it to change? The strange flip down pull tab at the back of the shoe is still here, along with the awesome looking white, red and blue printed material that makes up the upper itself. There's almost a 3D type vibe to this new version of the Strung. The big area of contention for me though is that different colour to the foam, which appears to be sandwiched between the 2 slabs of Lightstrike Pro. What could it be? It appears to be a brighter white colour than the off-white sail colour of the Lightstrike Pro. Could it possibly be a small piece of Pebax foam? I mean, it would be just like ADIDAS to actually fox us all and actually put a piece of Lightstrike in there. I mean, a lot of people said that the shoe was too squashy and unstable perhaps, so that could be a way of actually reducing the compressive quality. I mean, stranger things have happened over the last few years in the world, haven't they? I mean, it does look like a firmer piece of material would be required there to generate that sort of stability, especially considering it's around the energy rods itself. Let me know down in the comments what you think that other piece of foam might be. You can certainly see the energy rods a little bit more now poking through the sides around the midfoot and the forefoot. The rear profile of the midsole as well certainly mimics the Adios Pro 3, rather than the more rounded cylindrical flavour found in the first 2 iterations of the Adios Pro. I doubt there's much change underfoot. They'd be mad to actually tinker with that winning formula. Continental rubber, we just know it works, especially in that ridge sort of variation that we had in the PRIMEX. We'll have to wait for some more information on that one though. It looks like this could be a fair way off. Although in fairness, they've already started discounting the PRIMEX Strung. Very, very strange that that's already been discounted. Okay, that's my 4 most anticipated models for 2023. Let me know your thoughts on these and your most anticipated shoe for 2023 down in the comments. Musical interlude time. This time, a Christmas track from Run DMC, Christmas in Hollis. I always wondered where the sample was that they used in this track. It comes from Isaac Hayes, Joy to the World, so I guess it's got that seasonal vibe even in the samples. Starts off quite traditional, this one, just with a few bars of sleigh bells before we kick in with some good old-fashioned Run DMC lyrics. Reasonably child-friendly as well, this one, without any bad language, which is what you typically expect from Run DMC. There's a nice loose feel as well. You can hear that it was generated predominantly with turntables, which is always the best hip-hop stuff for me. It's kind of like when you've got a live recording of a rock band or something. It's just a little bit more loose and there's a bit more swing to it, and you always get that with Run DMC tracks. I like the fact that they kind of keep the backing simple as well. It gives you a little bit more space for the lyrics. Certainly want to check out if you're completely bored of Mariah Carey already. Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. Thanks for tuning in, people. I hope you enjoyed today's brief look into the future. Hit that subscribe button, click the bell below for notifications, and also give this video a thumbs up like and share it with your running buddies. My name's Eddbud, and I'll be seeing you